Live from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Watching drivers from above. The new additions coming to the I-74 bridge to crack down on speeders and the delays ahead for area drivers.
And a live look from a different bridge, the Centennial Bridge in downtown Rock Island to Davenport, courtesy of our Eagle Eye this morning.
Thank you for joining us for our first look at the news. I'm Julie Sis.
I'm Jim Mertens. This is Good Morning Quad Cities at 4:30.
And I'm Cassie with the
Yes,
forecast today. And it's John Deere Classic Week, of course, so still we've got some weather that is very important out there, and fortunately right now everything looks pretty good. We're at 74 degrees under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, a lot more clouds to our south right now. It's a little brisk. We've got a wind out of the west at 13 miles an hour, dew points in the mid-60s, so you can still feel the humidity out there a little bit, but those numbers will be decreasing as we go throughout our day. We're at 70 degrees right now in Galesburg, 72 in Muscatine, down to 69 in Burlington. So temperatures are a little mild to start the day. That's because we do have the cloud cover right now, but likely within the next 2 to 3 hours, those temperatures will be dropping a little bit. You can see those rain showers that took place last night in our southern hometowns continue to drift off to the east. In the meantime, still dealing with quite a bit of cloud cover, but those are also moving eastward and will continue to do so for the next several hours. So we are looking for lots of sunshine eventually. It's going to be a much better day than the past several. It's going to be cooler, less humid. It will be a little breezy at times, and the next couple of days look even better. We'll talk more about it in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Cassie.
Some big changes are already impacting area drivers this week, from flooding to lane closures on the Centennial Bridge. And now drivers will have to slow down for work this morning on the Interstate 74 bridge.
News 8 Shane Simmons explains how police will be monitoring your speed limit from above.
Thousands of people use the I-74 bridge every day, entering and exiting.
That's a dangerous mix just by itself, with just people coming on and leaving the roadway.
Summer, fall, winter, and spring, it's continually the gateway from Illinois to Iowa and Iowa to Illinois. But starting Tuesday, Illinois State Police will be monitoring driver speed from the sky.
We'll send up an aircraft. It doesn't take any electronic speed detection devices. It doesn't take any specialized equipment. It just takes human eyes, a stopwatch, and a simple number chart to be able to actually calculate the speed that somebody's going.
The Illinois State Police say the reasoning behind the aerial speed zone is to get drivers to slow down from 65 to 50 in what they consider a high-risk driving zone.
With the increase of speed, and especially with the construction zones in that area, there's been an awareness that some speed enforcement needs to continue on the bridges. On the bridges, you can't really have any squad cars sitting up there safely during daylight hours, but obviously we all know that there's a problem up there on those bridges sometimes with obeying the 50-mile-per-hour speed zone. And
police hope the increase in police presence on I-74 will help drivers develop safer habits when using the bridge.
It's one of those we want to hit those speed zones to be able to develop good driving habits now before it becomes a critical or fatal crash later.
Shane Simmons, WQAD News 8.
All right, thank you, Shane. IDOT crews will begin installing those white stripes on the road at 9 a.m. and will finish around noon today. Police are asking drivers to drive with caution while the crews are out working.
Some area roads could soon reopen at the Mississippi River in the Quad Cities as the river continues to fall. The river is now just under 20 feet. It's dropped more than a foot since Friday's crest and is expected to drop another foot by Thursday. Crews in Davenport say they could have River Drive reopened between Mound and Tremont sometime today. Traffic from Rockingham to South Concord could be open at that time as well. Dozens of homeowners in East Moline's Watertown neighborhood will be getting help from the federal grant money after flood damaged their homes last week. The Dispatch, Rock Island Argus reporting, aldermen voted to use more than $160,000 in grants to help residents replace or fix water heaters or furnaces that were damaged in the floods.
Area corn crops are slowly bouncing back a week after an intense storm flattened some fields. The corn crop was off to a great start in Reynolds, Illinois, but high wind and heavy rain last week snapped some of the stalks. Farmers say that will slow down the harvest and yields will likely be smaller as well. But they say the corn was just uprooted and not broken, so it will likely recover.
Iowa Governor Terry Branstad is asking for federal aid for 10 counties in the state hit hard by the recent storms. Just this week, the National Weather Service confirmed 4 tornadoes touched down Sunday night. A storm spotter in Newton, just east of Des Moines, caught this one on her cell phone. It was rated as an EF0. Damage assessment still underway. Governor Branstad says additional Iowa counties could be added to the request. And the National Weather Service classified the tornado that hit near Rhinebeck as an EF1. It packed winds up to 100 miles per hour, left a path of destruction about 3 miles long and 100 yards wide. Several homes were reportedly damaged.
Illinois Governor Pat Quinn has signed off on 3 new measures to help those impacted by recent tornadoes. More than $11 million in state aid will help local governments impacted by tornadoes in November of last year. Around $7 million of that will go to Washington, Illinois, one of the hardest hit communities in the state. That relief package is in place partly because Washington was denied Illinois federal disaster assistance.
And I do want to thank the people of the city of Washington who inspired all of us in Illinois with their commitment, with their strength, with their ability to help each other. I think it's an inspiration for this year and for every year as long as we're on this earth.
Other measures signed into law will address insurance issues, property taxes, and donations from the Red Cross.
Burlington looking into an ordinance to make it illegal to carry or cover up toy guns with one's clothing. City leaders say it could be impossible to tell the difference between a real gun and a toy. News 8's Brittany Lewis reports on what triggered the city to consider the ban.
Guns have been hanging on the walls.
I've got anything. I've got over 850 guns.
At Steve Hardy's Gun and Loan Shop for over 30 years. Most real.
This is .357.
Some toy.
This is BB. If you just take a Smith & Wesson like that in a 9mm, and you got these two at a distance, I mean, you could get your butt shot.
I don't want a cop shooting somebody and then feeling, or anybody getting shot, for that matter, over something that was horseplay or something like that.
The Burlington City Council hearing an ordinance Monday night that would require someone with a toy gun to store it in a proper case when traveling from point A to point B or in their car.
It's a proposal to conceal these guns in a proper case. They make those cases at all the department stores. And whether you're walking or in a vehicle, you would be expected to case these guns.
It's not saying that nobody can have them. It's saying that they need to be in a proper carrying bag so that you're not walking through the streets or just running around or whatever with a BB gun that may or may not look real.
In 2012, there were 19 reports of a person carrying a gun that turned out to be a toy gun. In 2013, there were 26.
The idea was, if the problem continues, it's going to be a matter of time until we actually end up with a confrontation with somebody that has a gun that's maybe not real, and we can't make those kind of decisions that fast.
You're asking for trouble. You're playing with fire, literally, because there's been kids across the country that have been shot waving at thinking they're cool, but it isn't a good thing.
And though they are considered toy guns,
you just got to be careful and respect them.
Like the rest of the guns hanging in his shop. Brittany Lewis, WQAD News 8.
There will be 2 more hearings on the ordinance. The police chief says this is more about education than enforcement, and they will work on communicating the ordinance, especially to kids. Still ahead of Good Morning Quad Cities, higher costs at the airport, the extra fees you'll be paying the next time you fly.
Plus, a Couch Potatoes dream job, the company willing to pay people to watch TV all day long.
And most of us missed out on the rain last night. How long we can keep that luck going, coming up.
You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities with Jim Mertens and Julie Sisk.